to have the skill set to convince not only members of your own party, but members of the other side of the aisle that this is the way we've got to go. Look at the different pieces of legislation that we've passed. Because part of it is not only going up there and voting no or taking a position and saying, I'm not going to move. Part of it, what serves Hawaii the best, is when we're able to actually work together and enact legislation. I tell people, the one thing that, and someone mentioned it earlier to me, you know, I miss you on KHVH, and I smile because that's something I've done for 6 years now with Sam Sloan, my colleague, the Republican. And we go on the radio and we hash it out. You can all hear us. And we're there for one purpose. You know what? We can respectfully disagree. We're about as different as you can get. But there are many things that we are alike on. Look at what the legislature does. Look at the fact that the disagreements are really a small number. I give you a very good example. We overrode 2 of the governor's vetoes. What most people would expect is that the Republicans in the legislature would stand by the governor irrespective of how they voted. In the 4 years that I've been Senate President, that has changed. I had solid votes up because they have said over the years that they believe that if they can vote for a bill straight up, they can vote to override the governor even if she's a Republican and they are Republicans. Think about what it does to be a leader, to be someone who can argue a point and still respectfully disagree when you need to and agree when you need to. So again, look at our records, look at what we've accomplished, look at what major pieces of legislation have been passed, which have required people to be courageous and to take those stands. And I believe when you do that, you'll find that it's my record and you can count on that when we go to Congress. And always remember, Hawaii is what is primarily in my heart and what I would do things for.
I want to just add one quick point to reinforce to all of you here this evening. As you judge all 3 of us as who you want to be your next representative in the United States Congress, and that is in making the decision to run for this particular seat. When I made the decision to run for this seat, it didn't matter to me whether or not this was an open seat or not, or whether or not another seat may or may not open up as an open seat in a congressional delegation for mayor or for governor. It didn't matter to me who would or wouldn't jump into this race. And I still stand in front of you, sit in front of you, explaining to all of you here, if another seat opens up, if another candidate should or shouldn't drop out of a particular race, I'm still running for this race. It's because I believe in the principle that we need more fiscal responsibility and government accountability in Congress, and we need to change the direction of Congress. And I have built my career on these principles as a state representative and as a Honolulu City Councilman, and it's that record I will take to the U.S. Congress, not because of politics, not because I'm anointed by some party higher-ups, not because it fits neatly in my political career, but because that's exactly what we need in Capitol Hill today.
Charles, I hope you weren't referring to me when you referred to party higher-ups. That applies to me, but you know, one of the most important ways to stay grounded when you get to Washington. Washington's a different world. I often describe my job as cultural translation, the translation of the world of Washington, where I've lived and worked for 7 years, and the world of Hawaii, where I've spent a lifetime. And you've got to be able to translate back and forth across those worlds. They're tough worlds. Washington is an insider's game, and the way to stay grounded is by staying in touch with your community. That was an important part of keeping the partisan stuff to a dull roar and trying to keep it in perspective. I traveled back to Hawaii well over 20 times a year during the time that I was in Congress. I conducted 175 talk story community meetings just like this. No censor, no moderator, just sit there and communicate. And I find that when I did that, it always gave me the broader perspective to go back to Washington and take up and try to get people's work done.
So at this time we'll take a brief intermission. I'll collect any cards if there are any. In the meantime, feel free to get some more food or drinks from the bar. Thank you.